All right, welcome everybody. Yeah, it is the Confluencers, but so far there's only 3 out of 4 of us. But RBB is here. Let me introduce RBB. Go ahead, RBB.
Oh, hey, everybody. This is RBB. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate the time being spent here with you guys. And yeah, how's it going, Matt?
Hi.
Oh no.
Cat was pretending to be you, RBB.
Oh, hi, Matt. How's it going?
Doing well. Yes, the real RBB, not the cat version.
The real RBB. That wasn't Matt trying to pretend to be her. Earlier, Cat did a really good impression of you, though.
Yeah, I thought I was doing a really good
impression. That was a bad impression.
Yeah. Well, I work with what I've got. It's.
You've got too deep of a voice to be me.
This is how magnetic I like. Your essence is this magnetic to me, so I'm gonna have to lower it down to capture that essence.
Right.
With that said, we're gonna have Matt's kind of maybe run us through the indexes, and I guess we'll pass it on to you after that. Once you get your stuff set up, how's that sound?
Yep, sounds good.
Let's do it. All right, Mattsby, you're up.
Yeah, well, like I saw when we did the live stream with Luca, Cat, and me on Sunday, I was talking about how all the indices were at resistance except for IWM, and that still holds true for today. So SPY, using the fibs from January 22nd or January 2022 and October 2022, it's still hitting this linear fib here at the 2.618, which is 693. So ultimately, if it's going to break higher, it needs to start closing some candles above there. And it's still a resistance. So I'm going to be a little bit more cautious with the SPY in this zone. Can it break out? Can it correct? Yes, it can do all those things. But it's just, I need some confirmation that it wants to go higher. And so far, it's not. Also with the QQQ, same situation, right? Let's just get this line out of here. Hide. Yeah, from the same time period, we can see that actually it's from this time period. I had this set up on my other scale, but not this one. Yes, on this one is also hitting some resistance, right? The 626.35 is a big zone. Doesn't need to go back to 598 and retest it. That is a possibility before higher. So I'm just watching that as well. But with the IWM, what I'm really watching here is it's a breakout, right? We do see it's breaking above this all-important 266.98. And that is actually from the fib from the 2021 top and the 2023 bottom. So that is something that is really incredible. It just keeps powering through some resistance zones. So it's kind of like the outperformer of the indices. So I think the risk on environment is still very strong. And I think there is a very good possibility for the continued breakout with IWM. What say you, RBB? What are you seeing in the indices?
Well,
sorry, I got to unmute that. Sorry, go ahead. Go first, Cat.
We can have Cat pretend.
You know what? Oh boy, not that again. No, this is my week. This, like yesterday in Discord, it was a Tuesday, but it felt like a Monday, and I spoke for a complete hour without them hearing me. Like I had my microphone on mute, and I was posting. I was alerting plays, so they weren't saying anything, and Tim was talking. And finally, like one of our members is like, "Is RBB like not going to be on voice today?" And I'm like, "What do you mean not on voice? I've been here talking for an hour." So
I've done that before so many times. I've recorded entire videos on mute by accident. I'm sure Kat has done that too.
My son got me a coffee mug. It says right on the front, it says "You're on mute."
Sorry, I thought I was talking. But yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Kat. I'll be next. You go.
No, I don't want to go. I want to see your.
No, you go.
Go. Tracker, you're up then.
I'm still drawing mine, so let's see.
No, I don't have much. Like I usually feel the same way with Matt when it comes to stuff. Matter of fact, I'm just going to defer to him. I mean, I can show some stuff, I guess. I think we are going through some very similar things that we've done before. if you're talking about like the large caps, for example, Nvidia, and man, I totally was not expecting to show charts, so this is completely unfair, but that's okay. I'm gonna do the Nvidia chart up top and do IWM at the bottom here. I'm gonna make them all monthly charts here. I'm gonna try to line them up here, see what I'm doing. There you go, they're lined up. So what do we see here? Well, we see a couple of things here. Are they lined up? Yes, they are. So the thing about it is, I think that we are at a very similar juncture as we were before, and I've kind of shown this before as well. What you're seeing is whenever you have a big giant base that it forms with IWM, with accumulation that happened over and over again with the last deleveraging that it has, and whenever it breaks into all-time highs, which is currently doing over the last couple of months, including very obviously this month, large caps tend to do not much. So, for example, you just look at like the last, the 3 cycles, I guess, over here, breakout here. Ooh, nice. IWM keep going up. What did Nvidia do? Nothing for about 5 months over there. Same thing over here during this last cycle in November 2020. A lot of people got super euphoric and all kinds of crazy crap. But guess what? Nvidia did nothing for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. Same thing's happening right now. We have a breakout IWM, and actually some of the really small cap stocks are doing very well. What is Nvidia doing? Absolutely nothing. It's doing jack over the last 5, 6 months. I think we're seeing a very similar rotation that's happening over and over and over again. To me, I think liquidity condition is still there. I think there's still liquidity coming. It's just rotating from large to small right now. And after the rotation happens, what happens? Well, they kind of run up together over here. They kind of run up together over here. So I suspect that the consolidation on the large caps will eventually go up. I just don't know how much volatility there is. And when it comes to short-term volatility, it's not my game because I like to look at monthly charts. So I'm going to pass it on to one of y'all. RBB,
I'm ready.
Oh, Tracker, go for it.
Oh, go-
Somebody take
This is my SPY analysis, and so I've got this log scale retracement from the high that we hit. Ooh, wait, this is wrong. It's got to be updated to there. Going back to all the way back here when it was 481.80 in that's the April 7th of last year, 2025. And then I've got this linear scale right here that I'm from this high back to this low right there, November 20th. So on the linear scale, I just usually look for the same ABC retracement pattern. So from this high here to the 382, you can see it went a little bit more. Back to the 236, you can see it kind of wicked above it, but the candle body is only slightly, I'm sorry, this is kind of, let me get closer, bigger, like it's on stage. I got a mirror for stage. So you got the 382 candle body here, 236 candle body there. So really it's kind of like this and that, and then to the 618. So I would expect a 618, maybe a 702. Yeah, this is what I would look for in the SPY. And then comparing that to that log scale fib retracement, look, it's coming back to the 886 of the log scale. That's my prediction. SPY wants to test back to 667.75. Does this. So there you go, one color. All right, what do you think, RBB? Put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
Anything
so
similar?
Let me. No, I can talk. I can talk. I just got to get
You got to share
get my right screen here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also try
I'm
not
sorry,
to
I can
use certain
swallow and do
words.
something else. I could.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Try not to use certain
Okay.
words that would trigger me if you can.
I will be so careful on not triggering you. Okay. I like to trigger people though.
I
Okay,
think
so
it's
here's
showing both of your screens at the same time. So I think if you can just do one would be best.
oh, let's see here.
Yeah, earlier we tried to get all the sillies out before we started the show. But of course, that's not going to work. What's to be silly?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun before she came on. Now I gotta kind of
Let's see.
calm
While she's
myself
working on
down.
that,
Is that working? Or is it
I'm
still showing
up now.
two?
Here you go.
It's still
Why is it
showing
showing
It's
both.
still
two?
Yeah, I'm not sure
That's
why it's
weird.
showing
Why is
both
it
of them.
showing two?
Are you doing show full screen? Or are you showing doing like individual? Because I think you can have the choice to just show your tab.
You know, I can just say for the audience, like, we're just happy that you're here. It
Oh, here we
doesn't
go.
work.
I got it. It finally gave me the right thing. Okay, that should be right. Can you see it now?
I see trackers, FIB levels.
Did it show up?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there.
There
Yep.
we are. Okay, so this is IWM. It's kind of running out of room a little bit up here. We've got 270.36 up here and also this 266.77. So between those two areas, I would look for kind of this run to slow down or stop or be rejected, especially if it gets up to the 270.43. So that's what I'm watching on IWM, but it's been just a phenomenal run. I mean, this is the daily, and you're just able to take a trend line and, pretty much just like run with that. So that's been really nice. I'm going to drop down to the 4 hour. So I'm not as, I know everybody's kind of talking about this pullback. And today is pretty critical. And so is like tomorrow and and Friday. But what held, so up here is my gold daily band. And that's at 697, and we've got rejected from that to my other gold daily band down here at 677, which held beautifully today and then just went flying back to the gold mid at 688.5 and back to trying to get into this green trend line of this upward channel. We didn't get back into the channel, but we certainly came close. And then we got this pullback and this push again. So what I'm looking for is more of kind of a triangle per se, like
Oh yeah.
this, where we kind of chop inside of it into toward earnings. So, don't think of it as maybe Friday. It could take a little bit longer. And then I'm hoping we start to break upwards. So if we start to hold this 688, 689, then we're back in the game. But for right now, QQQ, similar look as this, as I think we're kind of chopping into a triangle. And then I think the earnings are going to be more of what happens. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, if we lose like 677.4, then I'm with Tracker and look for a dump. But right now, I'm feeling like we're just kind of consolidating in a range, and that we could be moving up. And a lot of it will depend on data, on Trump, on his tweets. But I kind of feel like that this bearish rhetoric on X may be just that. And that, it's like today when everybody was getting so bearish, I seriously clicked calls, and 20 seconds later, that tweet hit. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I didn't even know what happened. I thought, like, I must have done something wrong. Like, like I was like, that call cannot be that price. I mean, it tripled in less than a minute, and I was just like, "What?" So, like these supports are holding. So, I think this green line though is the big key. We got to get back into this upper channel, but I kind of just see this triangle playing out. And same thing on the Qs. You know, we got this triangle up here, 629, 630 becomes the deal for it. So just really kind of, and I can make this, what I need to do is make it like this so people can see these numbers a lot better. But, you know, if it holds over 618, that's the big level here, is the 618, then we're above this orange band. And, you know, we're moving again. So right now, some pretty bullish levels are still on the table and still looking good. And I think, you know, they brought Apple down. They brought Microsoft down. They've brought Tesla down. Thank heavens. Bought that 417 yesterday. Thought that was like a gift from God. So I was like, let's go. They've been taking the Mag 7s and just ripping them apart. I cannot wait for earning week. Meta, I think Meta is going to do well. So, you know, I just think I think the expectations are so low and so bearish right now that there could be some surprises. So
Yeah.
that's my take on the indexes.
I mean, even if it's a throwback, you can still just form a lower channel underneath it and just keep going up, you know? Like, it doesn't mean that it has to tank. And the setup
Yeah,
with,
and maybe they're
yeah.
flat too, you know, or maybe we get a little bit like we did last time, Kat, where we get the bounce on earnings and then
Yeah.
they kind of sell off, you know, like I think Amazon and a couple other names did that where they no, I think Amazon was actually one of the decent ones, but there was a couple of them, you know, that got the pops and then they just kind of slowly sold off, you know. So it's like you
Yeah.
couldn't have played options on them, but you could have made money if you were in shares.
Yeah, but I think it's a good thing they actually are doing a correction into earnings. But anyway, that's fascinating. Are there any large caps that you want to talk about in particular? You want to show charts on?
Well, you know, my baby.
You have okay.
That's my baby right there. Tesla. And I should switch to my other charting. I use 2 charting softwares, but my Jessica chart that I have dedicated to Kat and to a couple people in my room, it's on my other charting software. But this is a 4-hour chart on Tesla. You can see it came down and then, you know, it rejected here at my orange line at 452 and then is coming back down to 418. What this could set up, and I hope it really does, is a beautiful harmonic on earnings where, you know, we got like, here's one leg of the W, here's the second, here's the third, and I want to see this pop on earnings. So I want to see it go. So I just feel like, you know, that 417, 418 was a gift, and that I just hope Elon has like some great news and gets this thing triggered. It seems like it's a wave 4 and it wants a wave 5 higher. So I fingers crossed bullish on Tesla for a harmonic. And you know, if it really wanted to be a fantastic harmonic, it would go here to there. So that gives us just this beautiful W crab, deep crab. So I don't know. Or, you know,
Very
you can
nice.
wait for 360, but I just don't know. I don't think that's coming right now. So
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
think we got that. They gave you 417. I took leaps off the 417 and some calls yesterday. I was buying shares. Like I was like all in for the $20 pop today.
That's pretty great because you remember, like for the longest time, the all-time high was 414.50, and so they just brought it right down to just where it. You know, it's almost like kissing it but not touching it, not going near the
Yeah.
414.50 again.
Oh my God, Tracker. Anyway, did you have?
I didn't say anything, Kat. I didn't say anything.
You know, for the longest time, for weeks now, I've been posting on X. Look for 420.69, 420.69.
Yeah, actually, Tracker, show your
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
400,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah, sure.
420.69.
And for the people that don't remember, us four were talking about this exactly in December, and Tracker did mention that on the live stream in December, like 420, and sure enough went straight down there. So that was
Yeah, and see, I've been talking about, if you look on my pinned tweet, I have a wedge, and for the most part, we've just peaked above it and barely peaked below it, and we've just been in this wedge the whole time. Like, Tesla's been easy to play just because it hasn't been doing much, you know? I think these earnings
Yeah.
are they're going to set the next trend for Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tracker, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So there's a Snoop Dogg down here. And yeah, I was just like looking for a retracement again. Let's see, this one right here from that 498.83 high, looking back to the 380.98 low we got right there. And it just kind of went, I was looking for a 382 and it kind of hung out here for a while. It did not really come to the 286. You can kind of see it just kind of try to make a half-hearted attempt, but then it dropped through the 50% level. These are linear scale retracement fibs again. And it just went right to the 618. And then it couldn't get higher than the 382. And we're telling people back then, look for 453.81. If that's resistance, we're going to go another leg down, or at least, try and do this little trick where it makes a low, starts to run up, and it just falls over and makes a slightly new lower low. And that gave us right to the 420.69, which I put my line right there. So anyway, if this is the bottom that we hit today, then I'm looking for something like $510, and it drops back to 465. And then it goes on to 583, 538, and then 681.57. And that's actually, it's going to feel like a wave 5. RBB was talking about how this feels like a wave 4. But I kind of view the whole thing as just a new wave 3. The 4 comes down to 552, and then the wave 5 goes up to 1,000 up here. And I've had that 1,000 target for a while now. The next thing that's kind of critical, though, I keep posting about is right here again. If it can't, even if it bounces from where we got this morning, yesterday, if it runs to that 453 level again and it can't get over it, then we can get this red arrow, and that's where you get the crazy, 352. That's a linear retrace from 498 all the way back down to 273. I don't want to see that. I don't think RB wants to see that. This probably won't happen, but just be careful, because if we're going to fall into that universe where that's possible, or that's going to happen, this is what's going to tell us is if it can't get over 453.81. Once we get over it and build it as from resistance to support, then the green arrow can happen, and everything else that's lovely here that I just talked about will be happening. That's it. One of my favorite things to do on all my charts now, including the SPY, which I kind of want to go back to in a second, but just watch the 8-hour moving average 75. Here it was support, fell through, oscillated over, resistance went lower. Look where it's going right now. This is the orange MA75 in the 8-hour chart. Right about here at the 453.81. If it gets rejected, then we could look for a new, slightly lower low. But if it can get through it, then we can go on up higher. And then the ultimate support for a bullish chart is 4 times that. That's the MA300. That's just 75 times 4 is 300. And that's where you see if this is resistance too many times on the MA75, then it might get sent back down to the MA300. And that's where you get this like 394-ish near this 886 and, this zone right here. And I just wanted to do the SPY thing one more time. On the 8-hour chart, see how it's resistance still. The MA75 on the 8-hour chart we kind of got through it. But yeah, if it has to test back down here again to 679, then look out below for 667 or 66. Remember I had said 666 for the longest time? I don't remember in 2025. So now it's got to turn that, what I was looking for as major resistance, into support again. And that would bring it really close to this 8-hour MA 300 coming up here. So this kind of moves upwards. If we get that test, that'll be a really strong bottom to send price higher. And like RBB was saying, I agree with her. I could easily see like a big triangle where it just kind of goes sideways here for a while. And then the options get stuck. You know, the calls are up here, the puts are down here, all the strikes are kind of, you know, it gets squeezed and then it has to go one way or the other direction. Anyway, that's all. I don't want to take up too much more time on that, but I just love the MA 8-hour chart, MA 75 and MA 300. If that should be resistance too many times, that becomes your support down here.
Very nice. Matt, I bet you have something to say about Tesla. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically been going in orderly fashion, so not too much, but I can show just what I'm looking at here.
Matt, don't make me cry like Tracker just did.
I'll try not to. I'll cry my hardest. Yes. Yeah, so Tesla for me, I make videos every Saturday, basically weekly updates for like Tesla, Palantir, Coinbase, all that stuff, and I've been basically talking about this. Yeah, and I've been talking about 429 and 457 for the past 4 weeks in a row, really, and that's because it's been stuck in this little fib range, right, from the 2024 top and the bottom. It's just been basically bouncing off like a ping pong ball, like on resistance, on support, and just on schedule today, it just got a lot of liquidity, or not today, this week, it got a lot of liquidity below it. Yeah, in that previous 2021 all-time high zone, and it held, right? So this is still holding. The weekly candle closes on Friday, and basically nothing has changed, right? This has been looking for a higher low basically the whole time, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and that's basically it. So yeah, I think earnings could be a good catalyst for all-time highs again. I think it just needs to break above this 457 maybe one more time before we're off to the 500s. And yeah, my next target is going to be like 563 up top here later on.
I just have one quick thing.
Thanks, Matt. That was much prettier than Trackers. You're still my favorite.
Wait, no, and then I got a line here, and then I gotta get another line.
I thought I was your favorite. I thought I was your favorite. Oh.
Well, not after that one. Not after that Tesla Tracker.
Wait, hold on.
You know, there's just a lot.
Let me add some stuff here.
Oh, man.
Tracker, we love you.
I'm joking.
Tracker was the first one I met, I think, out of you four, right?
Yeah.
I think I met Tracker first because we were talking Tesla a lot. And then I think it was Kat and then Matt. So
yeah. The progression. The
Yeah,
natural
Tracker will always be first. That will.
Aww.
Yes.
I think you met Danny a long time ago though too, right? Or no?
Yeah, because Danny and I, you know, I wonder if Danny may have been first, because
Danny was first.
every day he was like looking at my Tesla and he's like, Blonde, you keep putting negative targets. And I'm like, yeah, it's going down. He's like, no, it's going up. Everybody on X has it going up. And I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, I have all this money in Tesla. And I'm like, well, sell it. And he's like, no, it'll go up. And I'm like, no, it's going down. And that's when it was like headed to 150 and it was going down. And finally he was like, okay, I'm going to listen to you. And that's kind of when we became like forever friends. And then, you know, we both knew when to buy it again and get in again. So, and then he got his system really honed down. But yeah, that was kind of funny because every day I'd be like, I'm sorry, Danny, but it's not going up and I'm not changing my mind.
Yeah, that was a brutal downtrend, but now it's all forgotten. Everybody loves Tesla. The hated one now is Coinbase. Everybody hates Coinbase so much now.
I don't know. I bet people still like get upset about Tesla doing what it's doing right now. I mean, I don't know.
Well, speaking of Coinbase, I do have a comparison with Tesla. I
Yeah.
did share it on X, and actually, this is pretty interesting because when you use a fib right here for Tesla is the bottom, Coinbase is the top, and the fib from the previous high back in 2024 and the previous low that it had, using that fib, it just went right back down to this 382 fib, and that's exactly what Coinbase is doing now. Using the same kind of previous high and previous low, it's going back to the 382. So kind of similar fibs that Tesla and Coinbase are doing. It's just a year ahead, right? Tesla did its correction back in December of last year. Coinbase is doing it this year, right? And now we're looking at probably some good stability in this 220 zone. And could it go a little bit lower down to the low 200s? I know there's a daily gap everybody talks about for Coinbase on this daily chart right here, way back here at the 212, 210, whatever. That is a possibility, but we'll see if it comes. But I just think this is a pretty good similarity from these points, right? The previous all-time high, and the low before it, back to the 382, and they're both basically identical. And yeah, Tesla spent basically almost 2 months at that 382 right here. And Coinbase is spending over a month basically so far around that 382. Still hasn't touched it yet, so it could go a little bit lower. But interesting developments, and also still a bullish market structure on the high time frame with higher highs, higher lows. So just waiting for things to bottom out before.
Hey, Matt,
what do you say
question.
about?
Oh no, pull it back up. On your no, I meant on your chart. Nobody wants to see my chart anymore. You had the weekly.
Maybe somebody that's really bearish in the audience loves it, Tracker.
You gotta show
You
me.
probably have some
you.
fans that love it, that want bearish.
I like Matt's retracement levels, and I was going to ask him to check something out. Can you bring? Yeah. So on your Tesla chart, so you pulled the your zero down to the 138.80. I just out of curiosity, pull it down to the 2023 bottom over at 105.
Yeah, it's the 50%.
Yeah,
exactly. What used to be the 50% becomes the new 382, and that is a really strong support level.
Yeah, Tesla had a really strong support there. And like that's when people were most bearish too, back in 2025. It just never made any sense there to be bearish after that huge correction. Like everybody always, their number one go-to on X is like, once it goes lower, it's just going to keep going lower. Well, you got to get rid of that mentality if you're going to make some money.
Really. Yeah, I'd say if you ever, because we do this thing, right? We pull the retracement, the log retracement fibs, and at some point you have to decide when to move it up and make a new 0 and 1. But I'd say anytime like that you have an old 0 and 1 where the 50% level is at this one price, like 259.43, and then you make a new 0, 1, and then it comes back to the 382, and it used to be the 50%. That's it. That's the lock.
Yeah, that's pure math. That's just math at work with the algos and has nothing to do with anything else. Yeah, pretty much. Well, Kat, I think you had some stuff you wanted to share about Coinbase or Tesla or both.
Yeah, I can show some stuff about Tesla. If you want to flip over to my Tesla chart here,
I think everybody wants to see RBB's Coinbase chart afterwards too. Yeah, I know that too.
Yeah. So this is my Tesla chart here. If it shows.
Where is it? Hold on. My computer's a little bit laggy.
Oh boy.
There it goes.
There you go. Yeah, that's my Tesla chart right there. So this is.
Oh no, it's gonna collapse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. It's
Drew the big arrow. The big arrow means it's going down.
Yeah. Well, something's happening soon because this is the tightest that the weekly Bollinger Band has been really for like the last 5 years.
How tight is it?
It's tight. It's pretty tight. So yeah, it hasn't been this tight before. I'm not sure it will ever be this tight in the future ever again. It's that tight. So something big is probably going to happen because it's been squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and yeah, right into earnings. So you know, it makes me wonder what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. Looking at your all's trend, looks like it's gonna, it's gonna be. I just wanted to show, like, here's another thing. You guys talk about the 0.382. This is linear, but if I do log here, this is Doge, by the way, 0.382. It's just extremely brutal, man. Like, I hate these 0.382 retracements. It makes me dead inside. But anyway, let's show RBV's Coinbase chart.
Again, I bet if you pulled that zero down to that previous wick in 2021, it becomes the 3-2 becomes
right there.
No, not the top, not that one. Leave that one alone. The lower one, pull it down to that wick in.
Yeah.
No, higher. Where? Just right there. To the right of, like, December or January. No. Go back.
Right here.
Go back. You're almost there.
I don't know, man. It's okay. I'm just gonna give it.
Pull back 20 periods. 20 or so periods.
20 or so periods. This is where it was.
Keep going. All right, 4 more. No, just 3 more back. Right, no, to the wick. Yeah, to the bottom of that one. No, go back 1 and go down.
I don't know, man.
Right, pull it. Yeah, there, right there. See, look, the 382. It was the 50%. It was the 50%. Now it's the 382.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
This is that's the takeoff point.
There you have it. Yeah, it actually fits the 0.336 and the 0.32 really well too. Interesting.
And look how many times it crossed that 50% line.
Yeah, very interesting.
So
there you have it.
The 886 is the new launch pad. After 35 cents, it goes to $1.55.
Yeah, there you have it. Way to go, Doge! Yay!
Salute.
All right, let's pass it on to RBB's Coinbase chart now, shall we? Get me out of here, Matt.
Get me out of here. Okay, let me.
Yeah, she's got to share her screen.
Okay, there we go, Matt. Okay, so here's coin. This is important. Okay, so like it's right now it's basing between my gold band top and gold band bottom, which has been this 220 to 260. Kind of set up an M up here, double top, and came back down. So the 220 to 213, 214, critical spot to hold. And I always say, like, draw your trend lines and try to avoid the name until it crosses over. So it's kind of building here, and we want to see if it can get back to 33. But right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are tough, so like coin just isn't moving. MSTR isn't moving. A lot of these names just are not moving until Ethereum and Bitcoin move, which may be February, maybe April. I'm kind of looking towards April, but you don't want to lose this 220 to 214 support, because then we go back to the 185 breakout level. So I would just say, be cautious. See if this 225 holds as a double, triple bottom. We've got 1, 2, 3 points of contact, and it's continuing to hold. And but if you start to see that 220 disappear, then I would be a bit nervous. I have shares. I've bought shares at 225. I sold some at 250, 255, and then I'm buying again, but I'm putting kind of stops on them if I lose these two supports. But that's kind of my scenario on coin. I think it's going to be a huge winner when the time is right. It just hasn't been a crypto year. It's been a nuclear, it's been space, it's been AI, but it has not been crypto. So I think once this rotates and comes out of, kind of a winter's nap, then it will be great. But I think these levels are worth starting to add coin anywhere from, the 220 to 185 would be shares for me. But options, I think you just have to be careful. So that's my coin chart.
That's very fair. I mean, it's yeah. I don't have anything else to add. I think it's going to be a pretty big winner moving forward. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, also just based on last cycle too. Usually, Coinbase runs with Ethereum, and usually you have a delay of Ethereum breaking out until small cap like Russell 2000 start to run for a couple months first, and then the liquidity eventually rotates. So it's yeah, I don't think it's going to happen yet, but I don't know when. But we'll see.
Do you have a Ethereum chart, RBB? Just out of curiosity.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, let me give me a second, Matt, on that. I may switch to my other charting system. So give me just a second.
Can I do,
Why don't you go to somebody else and then
I can do
I'll pull it
Bitcoin.
up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tracker.
I've been tracking Bitcoin real closely for everybody, kind of more closely than Tesla, real even. So here's my Bitcoin chart. Thank you, Matt. Again, I was just looking at this as it was a wave 3 top for that 126, 272 high that we had. And then I did a retracement. Well, and then it completed in this wave 4 down. And I'm doing a retracement now, going back up towards that previous high. And you can see it did do the 382 right here, 382. Yeah, let me bring it closer. 382, and then the 236 didn't. The computer. 236 didn't quite hold. It's kind of getting real close to this 114 here. When things go 382, 114, I kind of expect the C wave to pop up higher, like 702 or 786. So if we do get, I guess right now maybe 702 for 112,000, and then it would do like another ABC reaction, and then that could be the wave start, wave 1, wave 2, and I could do a projection off of that. But overall, it doesn't change anything about my larger projection. If you don't get too close into it and just kind of look at it straight off this, my wave 5 goes up to 230,000, or just a little north of that, 233. And then let's see, this one, do I have? Oh, I've hidden all these because I was trying to make this part more visible. But anyway, and then the 5 subwaves going up to wave 5, I'm looking for like 121,000 back to 108. And remember, 108 was like a critical resistance right here. So resistance flip to support here, and then it pushes off to about 170,000 back to 145, and then up to the 233. And so now what I just do from week to week, day to day, is I'm trying to keep track of this ABC down for people who are, watching it even more closely. Let's see, on the 8-hour chart, here's my moving average 300, which is in the downtrend, and the moving average 75, which is starting to curve up, though we lost it just here recently. Yeah, I would love for 87,213 to be the bottom, and just for us to come here. But, I can't rule out 85,751 yet. I've had a lot of people that just keep insisting it's going to go to 80,000, meaning like it's going to retest this. If it did that, I would expect actually to make a slightly lower low to do even more of a liquidity grab. But I'm not looking for this, but I'm just showing you, like if it got anywhere in this region, I think it would go for a slightly lower low again, because we've seen a lot of these charts, right, where it goes down and starts to go up and it makes a new lower low, and then people just get really despondent here. But I don't see any reason for that. I'm still looking for this to be the bottom, and then this to keep going up from there. And then I'll throw my coin chart on here real quick. Then look, right, coin did this actually. It did a bottom. It started to run up, and then oh no, it fell over and made a slightly lower low. It's still a higher low from way back here at 138. And then it started to go up again, and it did the same thing. It got rejected by the moving average 75 in the 8-hour chart, went down. It got really exciting January 14th when it got past that moving average 75, and then even people that don't use the 75, but they use Ichimoku clouds, look, it like penetrated the cloud, got over the top of it, but then immediately fell back through again, which was super sad and disappointing. Anyway, and then it made a new, slightly lower low again. But at some point, it's gonna stop, and this, one of these will be the bottom. And I'm hoping this is it. Either way, it goes down to 220. If it's done at 222, if it goes down to 196.80, it's not going to change these numbers too much. I would still say that in general, I'm looking for a retest of the previous high, drops back down to about 340. The major wave 3 goes up to 578, drops back to the 100% extension, 456, and then my wave 5 tops out somewhere around 96 to 950, depending on which one of these waves it follows most closely, the blue or the black. Anyway, that's probably enough time for BB to be ready for going next.
If you look at the RSI, since you haven't pulled up, I mean, you're building a lot of bullish divergence going on. Like, I think the downtrend is decelerating. So I don't really see necessarily any technical reason that it has to go down that much further. It can always go down further on bullish divergence, but it's like decelerating. Like that's what I see. So.
Classic single mom pattern.
Yeah. So.
I kind of single mom pattern. I kind of wanted to do this.
I did not coin that. I don't know what the.
I think you did say one time on a live stream about something.
I don't remember what I say. I mean,
yeah, I know. You're probably half drunk the whole time.
Anyway, good thing I'm not a politician running for office. But Matt, do you have anything to show? Anything else? I'm good with Coinbase. I don't have anything else.
I got an Ethereum, but if I think RBB is ready, I can switch to her.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do it. Go for it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, just share. There we go.
Okay. So there's Ethereum. I mean, we're all seeing this, right? You got your left shoulder, you got your head, you got your right shoulder. So, I mean, as long as it holds 2,800, I'm not too worried. If we start to lose 2,800, then, we could go back and test this trend line here at 25. And then it would be an instant buy for me. I would just really double down. If they gave me 2,550, 2,600 again, like they did over here, that would be like, I'm in. But
this is definitely
I'm in already. But that would be like, put more money in and let's go. But I just kind of think we're going to hold. I just feel like Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, that basically they are, it's almost going to be kind of like this action where it's just like for the next few weeks, it's just going to be kind of like chopping, so like that kind of, where it's like playing with us. And then all of a sudden, I think like today, it'll just go, so kind of thing where you're just like, oh, okay, now it's time for Ethereum and Bitcoin to run. So I just think we need to get through these January, February months that are just kind of awful on resetting and on, seasonality, and then we'll get some momentum. But that's just kind of my take on Ethereum, and Bitcoin would be very similar to that. I'm not looking for some mega drop. I think if we got the 70,000s on Bitcoin, that would be lows, and maybe these mid 80s might be the low. I'm not sure, but I just kind of see it as just kind of consolidation and then a go. But it's definitely an inverse head and shoulder. It's just, you can see it took a while to set up this shoulder over here before it ran. And that's what it's kind of doing again, is just taking that time to set up kind of a move. So that's kind of my thoughts on Ethereum.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got something similar to that. What I'm seeing too on my chart. So yeah, 2,800. Really, that is my 50% fib on linear scale, basically from the 2021 top and 2022 bottom. And yeah, this actually perfectly illustrates what's happening. It's like bouncing in between these two levels. So last week, everybody's celebrating, yay, but they're not realizing its resistance. And then now they're panicking. And guess what? It was a perfect touch this week. Even today, went right through it to the 2860s and bounced off at 2874. So I'm watching this the most out of any chart that I have because it's following these fibs almost perfectly, right? And we just are waiting to break this 3345 zone. Once it can break, then we'll see 36, 4,000, and all-time highs later. And also, I got the Gann square here, and I want to just show you what's really happening here. And this is even more impressive, in my opinion, because it's a huge breakout, rejection, huge backtest of the arc, spent a few weeks underneath it, but now it has reclaimed that arc to support. And we can actually zoom in here, and it did finally touch it again this week as well. So technically speaking, it is a breakout, backtest, and then another fake breakout and another backtest. So it's basically just building a base on top of this arc, which lines up with that fib, and it's just more confluence to me because we are the confluencers, right? After all.
That was a good plug, Matt. Good job.
Yeah. And then I see it straight back up, not straight back up, but over time, it's going to go back up to the 42. And the blue level is going to be the utmost importance to break. And that's going to be right around 4,700. And that was a rejection back in 2021. That was a rejection here at 2025, September. So
I mean, it could go straight up. It did in November 2025.
Yeah. It did go straight up even also in June, right? June, July, August, right? It just went straight up then. Only had one kind of a pullback. So yeah, it is possible. This could be the launching pad for higher because the market structure, the market symmetry, the fibs, everything is making sense that this is looking really, really healthy for some bullish continuation. So I'm not worried about Ethereum at all. I think it's just nobody likes crypto right now, but when nobody likes crypto, I just like to accumulate. So it's just looking good.
It just pisses me off that nobody likes crypto. I know 2025 was like a round trip, and if you look at Bitcoin, the chart, we're exactly where we started in 2025 at the beginning of 2025. But everyone forgets, like we did hit that all-time high, the 126,000, and that was really impressive. That's a higher high, and now we have a higher low. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, Kat showed a chart about the others' dominance, about how it's basically, I don't know if you want to share that chart, Kat, if you
I have to search for it. I mean, I can, but yeah, you might have to give me a sec.
But it's just like the top 10 coins have been holding on pretty well, but everything else besides the top 10 have basically been in a bear market for the past 4 years in relation to the top 10. So his chart and his explanation is pretty interesting, and I shared it on X.
I think Tracker would like this one. Yeah, if you want to flip over to me.
Yeah. I want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the.
Let me. There we go.
Yeah, let you do the switching. It's all in the hips, man. Okay. So Tracker, what do you think about this? This is others.d, the others dominance. Which is basically the percentage of the altcoins, excluding the top 10 coins of the entire cryptocurrency market cap.
Yeah, it looks great to me.
Yeah, so I mean, like basically based on the available information that I have all the way from like 2014 to now, it just looks like altcoins have taken a big chunk of the cryptocurrency market, all the way up to around 15%. And then it just got a little bit too far, too fast, and it just needed to make an ABC correction. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty clean to me. I think the sentiment is at rock bottom.
Can I muddy your chart up a little bit?
What's that?
Grab the I want to grab the Fibonacci extension tool, the trend-based extension tool.
Well, this is a fixed
Oh,
thing, so I don't,
okay.
I don't have it. Yeah, play around with it though, Tracker. See if you
I'll
can
have
play
something
around
for
with
you
the
by the end
chart.
of the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, so basically, I just think that if anything, this has been a bear market for altcoins ever since 2022. So it's been a bear market for about 4 years. So I think that the sentiment is that it's pretty much at the rock bottom. The interesting thing too is if you're looking at as to why this cycle is also a lot longer, I think that it's just a longer liquidity cycle because if you look at the Russell 2000, which is where the most economically sensitive stocks are, they're high debt. They're going to be more sensitive to rates and liquidity in general. It's been forming a big giant base for about 4 years. It's just recently broken out, right? Before you have these Ethereum breakouts and went parabolic, but then they still form a base. Like liquidity over here for the small caps here form a base until it breaks out. And even when it breaks out, Ethereum lags behind that by at least like a couple months, before it ran. Same thing here. It formed a base here for about 2 years. Whenever it broke out, Ethereum did run with it, but the majority of it came after that, right? Here is like the longest liquidity cycle that I've seen so far, and right now it just broke out. So I mean, short term, sure, it could be extremely volatile. It's a little bit overextended, but like in the long run, I think it probably would keep going, and eventually, I think Ethereum is cooling down right around the time when I think it's supposed to, and it's kind of just doing its thing. So I'm not that bearish on it. This is my Gantt chart. I've shown Matt before too on Ethereum. And I drew this. I think I drew this a few months ago. I think I showed you this, Matt. And
I like it.
whenever it hit,
Yeah, I remember.
whenever it hit there, I was like, "Oh crap! Is it going to come back and touch the angle?" I was like, "Please don't! Please don't! Please don't! Please don't! Please don't!" And it touched it. So, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't
For
know.
all
Like,
this time, yeah.
yeah, like it finally did it. I'm like, crap, Okay, so it's probably going to consolidate, like what RBD is saying, probably consolidate a little bit, and then everybody think this is a bear flag, and it's too obvious of a bear flag, and like just like this is a bear flag over here, whatever. It looks like the market structure looks like it wants to go up. So that's what I have for Ethereum, and I think if Ethereum does well, I think Coinbase is going to do well. I think Galaxy's do well. I think a lot of the other crypto-related stocks are going to do well. They're getting ready. I agree with you guys. I don't have any. We're Confluencers. I agree with y'all. Hee. All right.
But when altcoin moon? Come on, Kat. When?
When altcoin moon? I don't know. The outer part itself still doesn't look very good. But with that said, there is a possibility if we end up closing the week as is, that this could be like a rising 3 type situation, right? You have a green candle here, you have 3 red candles that's trying to break through underneath this green, and we're having a hard time doing it. Matter of fact, the others actually look a little bit better this week compared to the overall cryptocurrency market cap. So if you're looking at the others, you actually see like a green candle over here. Like actually, the dominance is actually holding pretty well. I have my chart here. I don't want to do it. Tell me to though. Tracker. I'm too lazy. Anyway, yeah, but you actually have a green candle. Well, it's a doji, but it's green, so it's actually not underperforming, even though everybody's all freaked out about Bitcoin, Ethereum is actually holding pretty well. So I'm not that scared for the cryptocurrency market cap overall. I think if you're focusing on at least the large cap, altcoins to accumulate, it probably would be okay. But I mean, at this point, I just want to play Coinbase because that's probably a better play in terms of their market structure and whatnot. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Noise. Yeah, I just want to share my others chart real quick too, because we talked about it before on our shows in the past, Kat. And remember this? Let me pull it up. This arc right here. Remember that? I was like, once it breaks, it's gonna fly. That's what I said. Once it does, it never broke. But it's not over yet. I mean, it's gravitating to the 45-degree angle. Is it really just going to go sideways until it touches in May? I mean, maybe altcoins need another quarter or something to finish before they go higher. But it is setting up, the symmetry is setting up that it's going to have a breakout. And when this arc breaks, it is probably going to fly up maybe even to the 3 trillion mark. I mean, that seems not reasonable at all since it's only 207 billion right now. But honestly, the symmetry you can't deny, right? Previous resistance flipping to support. It's like a breakout of the arc, back test of the arc, previous resistance on the bottom one, flipping to support. The symmetry, you can't ignore it. So yeah, once it does break, if it breaks, things are going to be pretty spicy. So I'm looking forward to it. It was just a little bit too soon there, back in September, right here, right when I was like, yes, do it, and then we had October 10th.
Yeah, that's
Well,
stupid.
that May kind of works with me though, with mine on that Ethereum chart.
Yeah.
That kind of dropping for a bit, so till April or May.
That ascending wedge there was not, that did not work out well. RPP, do you think about, speaking of spicy, do you think this is a head and shoulder pattern? Do you think that alt's going to go to zero?
You know what? I don't follow alts a lot, so I'm not great on that. But
it's a head and shoulders, right? It's going to go to zero, isn't it? Let me get the big arrow out and help you.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. I hadn't seen that before. I mean, it looks like it's just retesting the neckline and holding. So
yeah, I see
Is
a
this
lot
the
of these
Chartist version of mansplaining?
I would hate to be in a room with RPP and hear her say that. Like, oh yeah, I've never seen that before. I would want to just like walk out. Like, I'm so sorry, I don't exist. Bye. Anyway.
No, but every time I post a chart of others, everybody's like, it's a head and shoulders, it's a head and shoulders. I'm like, yeah, but it's not breaking. So everything's kind of a head and shoulders until it's not.
Yeah.
Anyways, so.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one. I mean, it could break and go hit that green line. I'd give it that much room, but I don't take it to zero.
But I just showed you a big black arrow. I don't know. That's pretty convincing.
I've got a Fibonacci or an Elliott wave extension for others here now.
I didn't even know that was black. I don't see colors. But sorry, you were saying Fibonacci level tracker?
Oh yeah.
He has
I took Kat's view and I just drew the obvious chart that I saw, which was just to go ahead and grab this significant low here. I changed it from months to weeks, so it's off a little bit, but yeah, from here to there to there. Here's your wave start, wave one, wave abandon. Like once you get to some amount of extension, it's time to just abandon what's the past and look at what's in the recent past. Like ancient history isn't, so useful now. So from here to there gives me 238.2% extension to $1.23 trillion market cap, at some point like this, I'd say. So yeah, look for it to cross 440 billion, and then there'll be some resistance at 505 billion. And it kind of runs back down a little bit, but once it gets over it, it can go to 741 billion, test back to 555, and then on up to 1.23 trillion. And then then you get the ABC down over here. I won't do the whole thing, but then that just becomes your new from the 2 to the 5. That's your wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's just how things. That's how things grow. That should be a song. That's how things grow in Fibonacci waves. Here, wait. Actually, I kind of do want to do it from here. Oh no, wrong tool. From here to there. Why is it not doing it? This tool right there. And you guys can think about what you want to talk about next while I'm doing this. And this is just actually I had to do this way too deep. 32236 618.
Yeah! Wow! That's scary.
Yeah, and this is your growth. I did that. I exaggerated a little bit too much.
That never
That's how you get to
happens with you.
317 trillion